Think of how dear and sweet the children of the world are, how innocent, the light of God in their eyes. Think about all the people that have struggled against tyranny and oppression so that we have some modicum of liberty. And then think about the great darkness the New World Order is forging, all their crimes, all the wicked things they've done, how they enjoy hurting the innocent. We are in an eternal fight against evil. It is good versus evil. And evil is making its greatest move in history. Right now, all of the, in the elite's own words, planets are aligned. They are going into high gear. They believe this is their jump point, their move. We have no future if we don't struggle and fight back and speak out now and have a mass awakening against this system.
I have something here that I know is so explosive and so incredibly mind-boggling when it's finally presented correctly, so that you begin to see the progression of the use of this symbol, how it is used by the different cults, different religions of the world, how it is used by the different governments, all governments of the world. All the royalty of Europe have used this word and terms and symbols, and then to see it now finally in full display right now in America, it will finally hit you how big this thing really is.
And that signifies, though, that's what I keep asking. I mean, the fact that they're now going with everything. They suddenly display the symbol, you know, moving away from the eye to the rising sun over the earth. They move into that, which I guess signifies in their hierarchy, and correct me if I'm wrong, that they are now engaging, what, the final plan?
Yes, the ultimate final conclusion to thousands of years of a plan that was laid out a long time ago is finally being blanketed across the world, and no one is able to comprehend how large this thing is, how big it is, and the implications of it. It's just it's staggering story, and I don't even know what to do with it. I don't even know how to explain to the audience how big this thing really is, how ancient it is, and how serious our existence is on this earth because of this incredible ancient apparatus that was set up thousands of years ago, and the whole idea is coming from the darkness of night into the new light of a new world order.
Well, did you hear his acceptance speech where he kept saying the new age, the new age, the new age? Barack Obama went, well, his inaugural speech. Please continue.
Yes, I know. It's all part and parcel of what I'm talking about.
Coming into the new age, coming into the new light. Why are you saying that's so dangerous?
It is profoundly dangerous because the people who are doing it they have, look at, the best way I can explain it is that for years, years ago, kids used to talk on the phone in front of their parents and use terms, and they still do today. They could use terms and catchphrases which the young people understand, but which the adults don't. And so the kids could be sitting right in the front room talking in front of their parents and talking about a drug deal or something really nefarious, and the parents are hearing it and they don't understand at all the terms that are being used and the catchphrases, what they mean. Well, the same thing is true today with the elite who are running the world. They have a lingo. They have symbols and words and terms that they use among themselves, that they know what they're talking about, and they realize that the people of the world have no idea about what they're saying, what it means. And once you crack this code of words and terms, it's staggering and it's frightening in its implications. And that's what I've got.
Because they're saying, at least with the Earth First Battalion and what the Pentagon says and what General Stubblebot and others have said, that the New Age means killing most of us, doesn't it?
Well, I'm afraid so, yes, because it's part of the agenda.
And the new man, the cybernetic merger of humans into machines and the extermination of the majority of us.
That's right, because they are dumbing down the humans while making the machines and the computers able to think for themselves. And so in America, we like to brag that we've got computers that can think for themselves. And I say, thank God, because the people can't.
So the New Age, one facet, I know I oversimplified all, but one facet of the New Age is the new man, the new creation.
That's right.
And the old man goes bye-bye.
You got it. That's exactly one of the most important terms, is the new man. And when you begin to see what that term new man actually implies, and why Adolf Hitler talked about all the time creating the new man, why Stalin in his writings talked about the coming of the new man. When you see the communist symbols and words and terms that were used by the Communist Party around the world, talking about the coming of the new man, when the sun would rise on a new order. Once you begin to see this, then you see how very powerful and ancient and old and well-financed this whole monstrosity on the human race really is. And then for the first time, you begin to see how serious in trouble we really are.
And without saying any names, you're saying they're going to come in with the dictatorship of the machines and the cybernetic merger and other things that they say are coming. You're saying, they built all of this to then have a false revolution and bring in this control, and others come and take your research, get everybody on board with the research, and then say, but the new man, that will fix it. The false revolution, the false new age.
Well, that's exactly what the Bible talks about, how the devil works. I mean, even in Scripture, even in Christianity, Christians are aware that there is a concept that the dark side will use what is good to deceive, and that even the elect could be deceived. It's so well done. Well,
counterfeits. Counterfeits.
Absolutely, it's counterfeit. And but unless you understand and are able to sit for an hour or so and watch a presentation that was, showing the symbols that were used thousands of years ago, used in Rome, used in England, and today are being used here, it will finally hit you what I'm talking about. It's something you have to see. You have to watch the progression in order to understand the severity of what I'm talking about.
Just talking about what we're facing in the upheaval, more staged terror attacks, more economic collapse, open world government bank being set up, carbon taxes with bureaucratic regulators over every facet of our lives, shutting down all small industry farms and ranches, gun confiscation, giant youth brigades. It's all being announced. And exactly, when the symbol manifests, now they're launching. Now, is this a beta test prototype, or what I'm saying is, because they build minis before they build the big one, or does this, in the battle configuration, look like it is the final wavelength or the final signature?
I think it is the final, last, and final move. This is, in my humble opinion, this is it. There is nothing to come after this.
You have never said that before. You have never said that in 49 years of research. You've never said this is it.
This is it. But as far as I'm concerned, there is no doubt in my mind, because I've watched the steps and watched it progress over the years and looked at it from every point of view. I've taken this to other authors, writers, researchers in private, and they're looking at it, and we're studying this thing. Up until now, I have always believed that there was going to be some way that people would wake up and find out and be able to thwart this thing. But now, I am totally convinced that the last and final stroke has been put into place now, and now it's a survival of the human race now. Now it is cosmic in proportion.
Hello. In the traditional motion picture story, the villains are usually defeated. The ending is a happy one. I can make no such promise for the picture you're about to watch. The story isn't over. You and the audience are part of the conflict.
More human beings were slaughtered in the 20th century than in all previous centuries combined.
We're talking a congressional record, 135 million dead.
Their entire purpose was to detach our culture from any moral anchors whatsoever.
You look at the changes in America since 1960, perhaps. The whole culture's been transformed.
They're coming out of the belief that the village should raise the child. The village means the government.
They have deliberately destroyed the American family, understanding that's the foundational block that builds a society.
We've come from Norman Rockwell's America to, Hugh Hefner's America.
If we lose the Judeo-Christian framework, we're lost forever.
The left wants you to think that the cultural changes that have taken place in America since the 1960s have done nothing but progress us forward toward a brave new world.
They look at what holds society together, they understand it, but they don't want that. They want change, and they will subvert and rot every good and decent thing we believe in because they have a vision for a new society, and that must mean the replacement of the old society.
This film will show that the brave new world they seek is nothing more than the failed policies and ideologies of the communism that enslaved over a third of the world's population during the 20th century. It will show that most people on the left aren't communist, just the useful idiots Lenin spoke of, being used to promote a socialist agenda, which is the first and necessary step toward communism.
They basically try to say that the state itself is ultimate, that there's nothing, no law higher than the state, and if there's no law higher than the state, there's no appeal against it.
History has proven beyond any doubt that the free enterprise that freedom produces provides more for anyone willing to work than any other system. So why would the left still be pushing their socialist agenda on us? I mean, it's really just microwave communism. There's only two possibilities. They're either ignorant or they're evil.
Well, for the next 51 and a half minutes, we are joined by the legendary Jordan Maxwell, esoteric researcher, master at decoding a new world order. I'm going to get Jordan on in these interesting times. Total semi-automatic gun ban bills introduced, racing through Congress, total registration, psychological testing to own guns. The Attorney General will be able to ban any guns he wishes by a simple stroke of the pen. So executive tyrannical power being transferred, global bankers engineering the collapse by design, hundreds of mainstream publications announcing the world government is upon us, and it's a good thing, like the Wall Street Journal Market Watch yesterday with the headline, North American Union currency uniting U.S., Canada, Mexico, money could result from crisis. And they say, yes, it's true, but it will save you and save the economy. So this is classic problem, reaction, solution. Create the economic crisis, then say total tyranny is the solution, and paying our taxes, carbon taxes on all human activity to the new super private central bank they're openly setting up in Bretton Woods, too. So joining us, ladies and gentlemen, is Jordan Maxwell. Jordan, good to have you here with us.
Well, I'm glad to be with you again, Alex. I don't know what we could add to what you just said. I mean, that pretty well says it all. I mean, my God, it's just incredible watching what's going on right in front of our eyes, right in front of our faces, and and nothing seems to bother the American public. They just keep watching, and it just keeps getting darker and darker down the tunnel. And I'm just amazed. I don't have any words for it. But there is something else bigger, even bigger than all of that going on. This thing that's happening to America is very, very ancient, very old. And I've been looking at this thing for a long time, and it's really, really scary because the implications are it's not just going to destroy the individuality of the people of America and enslave the Americans. This is a worldwide phenomena, and it's been going on for a long time, and I've been doing a lot of work on that over the years. And I'm just amazed. I don't know where to start.
Well, Jordan, that was my first question for you. Is that, 40, 45? How long have you been fighting the globalism?
I started in 59, so that's right around 48 years now. I've been looking and talking about this subject.
So getting close to 50 years here, yes. Dealing with this. Everything you said, everything you laid out, how they would do it, the steps they would go in, you were right, others were right, covering different slices of the agenda, G. Edward Griffin, Gary Allen, people like that. And now you've been proven right, vindicated in spades. Now tell us what it's like to see it all admitted and what that means that the globalists are now emerging. We always said that was key. The uncloaking was when they would put the capstone on. And then, so what does it mean that they're now announcing it all after denying it? And then where are we going?
Oh, I'll tell you, Alex, like you said, I've been working on this for many, many years. Back in 1967, I stumbled upon a piece of the puzzle that at the time I knew was going to be very important. I just didn't know why or how. And since 1967, I've been looking at that one piece along with everything else, but especially has that piece of the puzzle that I discovered in 67 been paramount in my thinking and in my research. And only until the coming of the new president did that, 40-some-odd years of research in 67 finally come into full view. It's a story that you would not believe, and I'm just amazed that all the things that I've been researching on that one subject is now in your face everywhere. I was talking about it many years ago, and the reason I'm not getting into that one symbol and one subject is because it's so big. It's such a huge subject. But the same symbolism, the words and terms that were used by the Egyptians, used in the ancient Middle East, used in ancient Greece, and in Rome, and then finally into Europe and Britannia, and finally into America. You can trace these words, terms, and symbols all the way back into ancient history, and the implication is that we are facing something which is so awesome and so old and so well established that this is why we are not able to do anything, because people, generally speaking, do not know the perimeters of how old and vast and monumental this apparatus is. And until you understand how far back this thing goes and what these symbols mean, I like I said, I've got over 40 years looking at this one symbol that is just driving me crazy, because Obama's government is filled with this kind of occult symbolism.
The rising sun? The rising sun?
You got it. That's exactly right.
Now, let's stop there. We saw Obama coming, but I didn't realize that in America, even the Washington Post admits that he's using Hitlerian and Maoist and Stalinist colorations, posters, slogans, and now they create the crisis with Bush, get everybody scared, and then make all the hate of Bush about loving Obama, transferring all that energy into their agenda, and now it's all just going at light speed, and they're calling him president of the world, Messiah. Is he a prototype of their world leader, or could Obama be their messianic leader?
Well, I'll tell you, everything you just said is absolutely correctly understood. You're exactly right. That the words and terms, and you said it so much better than I could, that the terms, the symbols, the words, the catchphrases are taken directly out of the Soviet school of philosophy, taken directly out of the communist philosophy, taken directly out of Adolf Hitler's philosophies and words and terms that were used by the Nazis. And once you see this, it's just overwhelming to me. It's just
it's staggering.
It's staggering.
I feel
how
thunderstruck.
in your face it is. It's right there in your face. But the people have never spent time looking at this kind of an arcane subject of how world leaders use occult terms and symbols to manipulate the human masses. And so, again, I don't see it as a problem for America. Now, I see it as a problem for the human race. The entire human species on Earth is now in serious trouble because the entire Earth is now covered with these symbols, words, and terms. And today, around the world, nobody seems to recognize it. Nobody seems to know. Why? Because no one studied the subject.
And that's why communism has such relevance today. It's the final destination on the road we're traveling.